Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best CL build guide in Act 2 of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now where she really shines is she can generate action points like it's nobody's business. She can use the focus Foretell here, and with a specific weapon we can actually apply a ton of stacks to them to do massive amounts of damage. Now her kit is all revolving around setting up these cards, so it only uses 2 action points to be able to do this. With specific Pictos, we're able to get ourselves a few action points so that we can set up marked on attacks. So she deals medium damage with it. I also have a Picto that gives us, anytime we attack a weak point, we can get an action point back. So we apply defenseless to both of them there, and then we can set up with our focus Foretell here, which is going to have max stacks of our card. I also like to use the move first ability here, because you can see we're going first, and then we got ourselves another turn right after the enemy turn. So first we're going to set up with this attack here, getting our card set on that enemy. Then we got to focus on attacking that enemy. Now the enemy set up shields, so we were given an unfortunate hand here. Now what we could do is we could strip the shields, but we wouldn't be able to use a focus Foretell. So if there's someone that doesn't have shields on, you can also apply cards on multiple enemies and then go ahead with reaping the benefits of it afterwards. We can just go ahead by attacking a couple times, remove those shields there, and then we just go with a regular attack to build up some action points for our next turn. Once we're in our Twilight form though, this is really nice because anytime we use our focus Foretell, we can set up 20 cards on the enemy instead. So it's nice to be able to go up head around with applying marked on enemies and then using the focus Foretell here so that we can then on our next turn do even more damage. So sometimes it's nice just to go in with a few attacks until you're able to mark the target and then go ahead with this attack, because it does do quite a bit of damage. But now you can see we have 20 cards on this enemy. Now we have 2 really powerful options: Twilight Slash, which is low damage but consumes the Foretell stacks to do even further damage. This is likely going to hit the max damage cap. We also have Sealed Fate, which can high dark damage, 5 to 7 hits, consumes Foretell to deal even more damage, and that's nice because we don't have to have max stacks of Foretell. And this also we can also use the Phantom Blade there, which we're going to use. This is likely just going to one-shot this enemy here. It hits very hard, so yeah, you're likely going to one-shot most enemies or do max damage on most attacks. As for skills, there's some very impactful ones that we can roll with, like the Twilight Dance here, which does extreme single target dark damage, 4 hits. This is going to hit probably max stacks every single time. It does use 9 action points, so just be mindful of that. And it'll also extend your Twilight, which is perfect. And then it also consumes all your Foretell to deal additional damage. So this is probably the strongest attack that we got in our kit here. Final Path is nice too and applies 10 Foretell and can break. That's another useful one. And Dark Wave 2 deals high dark damage to all targets. This is more so if you're fighting multiple enemies, but the other Final Pass or Twilight Dance work well. So for the skills that I like to have equipped on CL at all times, typically Twilight Slash is a nice one because you can use that often and it consumes all Foretell to deal additional damage. Same thing with the Phantom Blade here. This one requires 2 action points, this one requires 5. Focus Foretell deals medium single target physical damage, applies to 2 Foretell and applies 3 Foretell if target of 0. This is going to be our bread and butter setup skill, so we like to have this one equipped at all times. Sealed Faith deals high single target damage, 5 to 7 hits, uses weapons element. Each hit can consume 1 Foretell to deal 200% more damage. This one is also quite powerful, especially if you don't have a lot of stacks of Foretell build up, but we do have quite a bit. And Grim Harvest is nice, so it deals medium single target dark damage, 1 hit, heals all allies by 30%, and it consumes Foretell to do additional healing. So you can get 20 stacks on there, you basically get a full heal for your team. So Grim Harvest is very, very effective. You can be somewhat of a healer if you don't have Lune on your team. If you're going with, let's say, Verso and Mael, this can be very useful to have that healer role on your character. And Spectral Sweep deals medium single target damage 2 to 6 times, applies 1 Foretell for each hit, which is also pretty nice. But what we want to be doing is using the Shatchin weapon here. So Sun skills always apply 10 Foretell, but all damage taken is doubled. This is a worthwhile trade-off because we can also heal with CL here, and you also have another healing attack that we could use. But what's nice about this is we're going to always be stacking a max Foretell whenever we attack. Base attack gives 1 moon charge, consumes all Foretell to apply burn. Is another decent option for the attack there, but we can fully build around our luck here. So for stats, what we want to be working with, so it's at level 47 here, but if you're at level 30, I'll show you where to put the points. Luck is going to be a major skill for us because we can get critical hits, and that's really nice because they do a ton of damage in this game. The 50% more is nice, and especially if you're hitting them very frequently. We also build around Vitality because we got to account for that extra damage that we'll be taking because we have that skill set up so that we're going to be taking double damage. So we need to be able to take a couple hits because it's inevitable we do get hit. I do like to have a bit of speed, but I think that working around, especially in Act 2, having high luck, like that 57-58% hit chance, I like if you can get it up to 60, that's pretty solid. So we got 60.7 points there. And then putting the rest into our Vitality just to give yourself a bit of extra survivability. And then another, I guess another skill that we should mention is like the Healing Light. The not only the Grim Harvest, but also going with the Harvest attack here, which can heal yourself. So heal self by 40%. Only use the 3 action points compared to the 5. So this one is also quite nice because it can keep you alive. It does consume your Foretell to do that, but it does medium single target damage, so that's kind of nice as well. But as far as Pictos, this is where things kind of come together for a CL here. So I like to have a few different ones here. So base attack and break. Base attack applies powerless for 1 turn, and then increase break damage on burning enemies, because we're going to be having a lot of burning enemies, especially if we use burning shots. Because she builds up action points like it's nobody's business and doesn't burn them off like others do. So with that, we can also use shots often. Now, I like to have a high critical hit chance, so both of these here give increased criticals. You can go for anything that's going to give you extra health, like especially once you get the second chance ability here, that extra 1000 health can be really nice to have on her. Yeah, she's going to be taking extra damage, so you could go with this one here to give yourself that additional health, putting her health up to 3600, which is pretty useful. Now for Luminas, I like to go with a few of them. I only have 47 Lumina points on there, but you can, if you want to put more to her, that makes a lot of sense. I like to go with things that are going to add like marking shots and burning shots. Both of these will apply because we get a lot of action points. We may as well use them to set up marked for Mael to do her Pierce attack. Stagger attack, increase break damage on base attack. Weakness gain, +1 action point on attacking enemies weakness once per turn, also useful. First strike, you want to get her going up and setting her cards up, so that's why I like to have her go first. Enfeebling attack gives powerless for 1 turn on main attack. We got a lot of ways to apply benefits or extra damage on main attacks. We may as well use that. +1 action point on battle start, dodger for the extra action point. Base attack has 1 extra hit, so we can do additional attacks after that. We don't have to use the combo attack. We can always put that to something else. Even if we went with his breaking shots, burning shots are both 2 really good ones because we're going to be able to enhance our free aim attacks. Dead energy gives us more action points on attacks, and then augmented aim gets increased free aim attack. As I mentioned, we are doing a lot of attacks with our free aim because we get so many action points. If you got even further points, you could go with something like setting up more like the energizing attack, especially with combo attack. That's really nice because you can get double the action points back for 2 attacks. So that can be quite useful as well. And yeah, she's mostly best whenever you're able to set up the extra stacks of damage or extra stacks to do extra damage. Again, we want to set up by using the focus Foretell there. We can fire off a couple shots because if we're able to mark a target, that's just going to be even better for us. So any target that's got a lot of health is a good target to mark with this. We got a critical hit off, pretty decent damage. And since the focus Foretell put us in our send stance, we get 1 action point for Foretell consumed, and there's 10 Foretell, so we're going to max out our action points. So the Twilight Slash being the only skill that we're able to do, but it's going to do pretty much the max amount of damage that we're possible to do. You can see there, it hits very, very hard. Once we get to Act 3 and we can actually bypass that ability, we can do tons of damage. Now we have 9 action points and we want to set up cards again. So what we can do is go with our free aim attacks and then set up focus Foretell. So we have 7 shots that we can do. What's nice about that is she does get extra benefits from doing her shot attacks. So that can be good. We set up mark there. That's going to be effective. And then we can burn off a couple more of these cards here and then follow with focus Foretell. Now the nice thing is now we're in Twilight, we can do 2 times the max amount of Foretell. So we're going to get 20 card stacks on that enemy. And once again, now that we have the cards built up, we can use the Phantom Slash or the Phantom Blade, which is going to both do the max amount of damage because we can't actually bypass that just yet. She's best in Act 3 when we can bypass that because most of her attacks are going to do the max amount of damage, so pretty effective. If we have the action points, we can use a Spectral Sweep, which will also set up our Foretell stacks, which is nice. So you can go ahead with that attack because it does hit very hard. So if you didn't finish them off there, the next turn you would. So that is a powerful CL build guide in Act 2 of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Let me know if there's any other Pictos that would be very powerful in this build in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day.